welcome, one and all. I'm just going to keep it. It was only a minute. You guys, basically, I was saying welcome to the show, and did not know that when you turn the muting off, it stays off. So how's everybody doing? Thanks so much. Welcome to the Doug Wright Show. Again, I will tell you what you did not hear. 6 and 6. The Doug Wright Show at 6 and 6. Welcome, one and all. How are you? It's good to see you. For God's sake. Now you can hear me. I welcome everyone. Can you hear me now? It shows you can because the monitor says that you can. So now I welcome everybody to the show. You know, this is the second 5 day a week, twice on the air, at least an hour, up to an hour, depending on how my voice will hold out. Today I'm just going to go over the basics for the evening crowd. Because that's what I do. The evening crowd's rules are real simple. Same shit as the morning crowd. So, say what the hell I mean. I try to give you as many links as possible. And if, for all of you that watch this evening's live YouTube cast have not found out, it took me about 4 days or so to get to 1,000 folks on TikTok, so I'm able to do TikTok lives again. Those lives will go up to YouTube as long as they permit it, as well as the shorts that I do on TikTok that folks may find entertaining. Also, the memes. I mean what I say what I mean. Okay? And I think that if you have a talent to do something, you should try to do it. For those of you that appreciate this effort, please take the time to go to the funding pages I've set up. Fundly, the Doug Wright Show with hyphens. And if you appreciate what's going on, please hit my Cash App. $, the Doug Rice Show, and of course, we all know the patron.com, Doug Rice, if you appreciate what I do, and I will continue to do it. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody good? We all know the format. The format of this show, real simple. It involves keeping clear, steering clear, of those things around us that set us on edge as Negroes in this country. My job, I've taken this mantle. I have decided that every day, twice a day, at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., I will be here to deliver the facts. Just the facts. I will try to be as attentive as possible to the chat. As best I can. But I think it just, it's important that we get that goddamn grit off our faces. Really, it is. Because they're not playing. And it's getting more and more serious as time goes on. As you can see in some of the news that I cover, the whole right-wing white nationalism is just not going away. They have this shit on their minds. And they're going to make our lives a living hell if they ascend to power, which I cannot see much stopping it. Trump is a force to be reckoned with. He's now taken a turn into the wind, decided to take a few hits from his own supporters in order to get in line with that which needs to be gotten in line with in order for him to run in 2024. Yes, folks, he will look sane for as long as it takes to accomplish his ends, because he sees the noose tightening. And as much as I hate to use the noose tightening around anyone's neck as a euphemism, well. All right. How's everybody going? You like the time periods, Rich? Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you. Now you got the sound. Don't worry, everybody will flip out at first, and then they'll say, well, the damn thing's still up. I'm sure he didn't do a whole hour with no sound, so let me fast forward a little bit. All right. So, how's everybody doing? What's everybody feeling? How are you feeling about what you're seeing? I've been told that I need to interact a little bit more with my audience. I need to know. I need to find, am I off the beaten path? Am I continually providing these tidbits of information, these gems that continually run across my gaze as I troll and explore the informational superhighway that is the internet. That was nicely finished. I like that. Yes. Now, listen, if you pay attention to my TikToks, which I force you to do because I do upload them here, occasionally I have the sheer pleasure of putting one right where they belong, which is out of my face. I take great joy in doing that to some of them who dare trip the light fantastic to come across my timeline to determine they want to comment negatively. Folks, I live for those moments because you see, full frontal aggression of white supremacy is the only thing that will at least give us half a chance. I'm not talking about any physical activity. I'm talking about that activity which stems from the spoken word. And I think if we can keep them at arm's distance, at length, feed them, as we say with a long-handled spoon, that will be in our best interest. Well, there we are. Anyway, so black news, that's always the topic, it's always the term. I've run across some tidbits in the past that have tickled my fancy, and I assume that you yourselves have found what I've discovered to be quite entertaining. Well, let me tell you something, folks. The hits just keep on coming. Let's look. All right, so let's leave. And if the screen screws up, I'll fix the screen at some point. Otherwise, get over it. Black news. I hope everybody can see that. If you can't, get some glasses. All right. First thing to do is you take me out of the damn Netherlands. I'm not in the Netherlands. I'm in the United States. Change that. I don't want my safe search moderate. Folks, these are the ABCs of how to do this shit. Okay, so Black Panther. They got some news here about Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Another I don't know, fucking fantasy of some individual who finds, us with our own country providing vibranium with a king that has recently passed. I don't understand their whole deal. And now this is kind of where they want to watch. Black Panther, here we go. Spider-Man, Across Spider-Man, among the most anticipated 2022 movies. Now the brother who died, who played Black Panther, he knew that he was dying. Very interesting tidbit about this young man. And his last Black Panther stardom, and it went out of me, did it? I knew it would. No worries. He knew that he was dying, and his family had to be tended to. So what he did was he did as many of these damned movies as he could. I'll fix that. And that's what he did in posterity in order to make sure his family was taken care of. Boom, disconnect. It's that simple. It's what I do. I'm sure you guys will get over it. All right, so thank you once again, you guys, for tuning in, for taking the chance. Did I just fucking disconnect? I did not. I'm sorry. Thank you again for tuning in. As you can see, I can fix it. All right, so what next? That always takes me off my square when that goes wrong, and I'm going to figure out how to fix it. I don't know how to do it right now, but neither here nor there. Maybe this works better. I'm just going to leave it alone. All right, BNC, Black News Channel. Let's see. Black News Channel. As everyone knows, Desmond Tutu. If you've grown up in my time period, Desmond Tutu passed away. 90 years old. I like this guy. He did a few great things. Oh, see, I never lose here. Here we go. Oakland politician wants to limit how slavery is taught in the schools. Folks, all we have to do is wait. We wait, we see, and there it be. Oklahoma Republican representative. Look at him. Look at him. You see him? Yeah, there he is. Oklahoma Republican wants to limit how slavery is taught in schools. So, Jim Olson, Republican, listens during a committee meeting. He wants to limit how slavery is taught in state-funded educational institutions. Very, very interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why he wants to do this. As the debate over critical race theory and its role in a teacher's curriculum continues, the Oklahoma State Legislature has sponsored House Bill 2988, a bill to limit how slavery is taught in schools. That one race is the unique oppressor or another race is the unique victim in the institutional slavery. This is what he wants to blot out. the truth. How interesting. Let's put that where it needs to be, which is in chat. First, so that everyone else can kind of, follow along. I'm also going to throw this in the Twitterverse, as I tend to do, because, hey, it's important we understand what they're attempting. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get away from assigning blame to a single race. Who did the enslaving exactly? Was it a cornucopia, a mixture of different types of people who were not looking like this? Because that's kind of what they look like. I mean, because that's kind of why he's feeling some kind of way. Kind of interesting. And I got to say, folks, that I wonder why now? Why now do they want to eliminate what they call critical race theory? I mean, let's get into this shit. It's a bit upsetting. It's a disingenuous elimination because it comes at a moment of time when so many Hebrews, when so many black, quote unquote, people are awakening. And not necessarily to the fact that they're Hebrews, because some are not, so many are not. But most are awakening to the bullshit. And kind of, in simultaneous juxtaposition, we have an onslaught, a wave of individuals who now have showed up and have determined that their children's mental stability is a little too fragile to take being taught the truth in schools. And this also happening while it seems to be an influx of children, their children, that bully our children, some to the point of suicide. In schools where the children come from communities supposedly Christian. That happened in Utah. A 10-year-old girl committed suicide after being racially bullied. For as long as God only knows, until a 10-year-old black, quote-unquote, child, a Hebrew princess, determined life was too difficult to continue and determined her 10-year-old mind would end her existence, and you dare grin. I don't even want to go there. It's like, hey. So, when you hear about critical race theory being attacked, when you hear about what they have coined as critical race theory, and they say critical race because it's being critical on what they call their race. That's why this is critical to their race. They don't like the proof, but we have the receipts. And they just now, I've said this before, they just now knocked down their Confederate statues. So what are they fucking doing? They figure, is this a backlash? So you don't want the memory, our prideful memory of the Confederacy, you want to tear that down. Well, we now feel convicted because of that want. And so we need to strike all remembrance of our part in the enslavement of a group of people you continue to treat poorly. What next? I mean, you want the history of your actions to be canceled from being taught. Are you as well going to give back the fucking wealth you earned and kept during that time period? Because if you're going to cancel one thing out, then make everything right and simply disperse the wealth evenly. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. We're going to talk about how you got wealthy. Nobody's going to cancel that shit. Let me tell you why that shit's not going to fly. First, it's the beginning of the end for Negroes, if that happens. If they somehow are able to eliminate the discussion, the truth, the past, the history of their ancestors, if they do that, pretty soon they're just going to want to eliminate blackness. Because, if they can't talk about it in schools, they certainly don't want to have to look at us, because we're not going to stop talking about what was done. Nobody with half a brain is going to stop talking about history. It's not going to happen. So, in the beginnings of the stamp out the whitewashing of their own goddamned history may culminate in the elimination of Negroes en masse. I mean, you got to think about, what's the fucking end game? I mean, I'm just talking plainly. I don't know about you. Sound is kind of low. Dear God! How about this? Is it better now? Last time I did that, it worked. Leggy, tell me if it's better. Can you hear me now? Does it sound better? Sound kind of low? What are we doing? Here's a freaking mic right here. I can't make it better than this. I don't know what to do. No sound. Yes. Okay. Now we got me. All right. So, I hope everybody understands what I'm trying to get at. Can you hear me? All right. Back to it. I continue. You got me? Everybody good? Okay. So, on the Twitterverse, since I put that up there, let me take a gander at some of the things that people like to see. A few things that I thought were pretty good. So, as you guys probably know, I posted something a while back, and it was quotes. It was quotes from various, I guess we'll call them forefathers, okay? And in my TikTok, it got quite a bit of traction. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the quotes, and as I read the quotes, I'm going to share with you that we have, in fact, verification of the quotes, which in my mind makes everything fun. Are we ready? Good. Everybody good? All right. So, here are the quotes, guys. All right. So Benjamin Franklin, a scientist. Here's what he said. All right. Benjamin Franklin, scientist, he said, "Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity, by excluding all blacks and tawnies, or increasing the lovely white and red?" Ben Franklin said that. Why do that? Why create for the sons of Africa a great America? Why not just increase? And he said the lovely white and red. This is Ben Franklin. $100 bill. They love him, right? He signed. Okay. Thomas Jefferson, president. He said this. I hope everybody's with me. Ready? Thomas Jefferson, "I advanced it, therefore, as a suspicion only that the blacks, whether originally a distinct race or made distinct by time or circumstance, are inferior to the whites in the endowments of both body and mind." This is what the man said while he was screwing the slaves. He thinks the slaves were inferior, but not too inferior to stick his little nasty white thing in it. This comes from their fucking mouth, man. Still grinning? We'll continue. Abraham Lincoln, the one that supposedly emancipated us all. Everybody with me? Good. Abraham Lincoln said, "There is a physical difference between the white and the black races, which I believe will forever but forbid the two races living together." Okay. "While they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior, and as much as any man am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race." And fuck that motherfucker. All of this vigorous need to be superior, to me, begs the scream of in-fucking-ferior. I don't like this shit. What's wrong with you? What, do you look at us and feel some kind of goddamned way? I'm a little bit hurt. I don't know. Maybe am I wrong? What the fuck is what? Okay. Henry Barrett, Virginia House of Representatives. "We have as far as possible closed every avenue which the light may enter into the slave's mind. If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work will be complete. They would then be on the level of the beast of the fields, and then should be, and we then should be safe. Safe from what? From little old us? What are we going to do to you? What would we do to you that you need to feel so fucking safe? So, I shared these 1, 2, 3, 4 rather illuminating quotes into the mind's eye of the forefathers of our oppressors that love this fucked up mess so goddamned much. And look what they think of us. And their progeny walks about us grinning in our goddamned faces, waiting for the moment to express this kind of fucking sentiment. And you think that I will stand by and just allow you to go about grinning? Okay, so let me further this shit so that you understand where the fuck I'm coming from. Because here, the facts. An old image recirculating on social media purportedly shows quotes on race by the founding fathers Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and member of the Virginia House of Delegates Henry Berry. The quotes contextualized below are accurate. Okay, so all of the quotes that I just read, this particular, I'm going to share it, this particular website prove that they are all absolute and accurate. So when you go about this penal colony for Negroes, remember folks, I keep talking about origins and how important origins are. Well, I dare say that expressed here in the sentiment by the own words of their forefathers, their sentiment, their origins have expressed themselves. And this is what they think about us, and let me just say this plainly. This is what has been passed down from generation to generation. The sentiment specifically in trying to stamp out the light so that we don't see the truth of them and of us. So that lack of light, that withholding of truth makes them feel fucking safe. I hope you understand what we're up against. I'm reading it, and a lot of folks, and I'll tell you something, in the, my new TikTok got about 15, 17,000, views, likes, whatever of this particular piece. And so many came chirping up to disagree and say that what I was saying was fomenting hatred and racist sentiment. And you just, it's all not true. And you know what? They said this shit, man. Fuck you talking about, man. There it is. And they meant that shit. And what they meant carried on into the development of this country and continues to this goddamn day in relation to you and I. So please don't feel some kind of goddamn way when I tell you to think of yourself as separate and apart, because that's how they treat you. Separate and apart. That's where they want you. Separate and apart. Embrace it, because that is our natural state of being. And they don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to go into the history of who Negroes are and why it was necessary for this enslavement to occur. Not simply to fulfill prophecy, but also to enrich their asses beyond their wildest imaginations. That has been accomplished, and has been accomplished now 7 times with the possession of Hebrews in any civilization, making that civilization a superpower, as is the case with the United States. But that time has waned to an end, and we are seeing them self-destruct. We're seeing the likes of things we've never seen, things we'd never thought to see, turning on one another again. But, and I remind you, Hebrews, that this is not our fight. I remind you not to get involved in this fucking nonsense, to stand away. Don't think for a moment, and I want to say this with unequivocal clarity, you don't owe this country a goddamn thing. And don't you let any goddamn one of you tell you that you do. Because the debt they owe us will never be repaid, and by God, they know they owe. And as long as this is their sentiment, as long as this is what they think, as long as this is what's carried down generationally, you don't owe them a goddamn word or any explanation. You don't owe them comfort. Here's what you owe yourself. Attention to the goddamn details, to history, to the fucking facts that slap us in our black faces every day in this country, and you know it. So, how's everybody doing? Artificial intelligence that manifested into artificial confidence that manifested into insanity. I like that. Don't worry, it's not good. True, and I'm trying to figure this out. When you say artificial confidence, you might want to say artificial intelligence. Let me explain something that most may not know. And how you doing, Tina? We talk about superiority when we talk about folks who adhere to race and the race construct. I do not. But there has been a tampering of genetics on this planet more than once. And when we talk about, DNA, when we talk about Rh negative blood types, when we talk about what science has said these blood types are, I know people try to attribute it to some Reese's monkey bullshit. Not happening. The shit is alien DNA. They're trying to figure it out. Alien DNA. And I'm going to tell you something that you may not know. It's thought by some scientific circles that the manipulation of the genetic code of humans in European and in the Caucasus Mountains and other areas, it's said that not only was this a fact, but it did in fact increase the intelligence quotient of those affected. Rh negative blood. Now, you may take that one way as an oppressor if you watch this video, but if you look at it from a different point of view, you'll see that an altered state of being is not in line with the intent of God's creation. So even if there was an artificial enhancement of human development, not by the hands of God Almighty, still wrong in every respect. And all you gotta do is check my math, folks. This is a said, established thesis. Fine. Maybe it's not an established fact, but it is a thesis. Rh negative blood. Go look it up. The tall grays. That's right. And I've said it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it now. When Iran posts in its public newspaper that the United States is run by tall grays, and you take a look at some of the individuals who show themselves, I got to tell you, some questions might need to be asked. I don't know. Stolen Legacy, book I have promoted online. Stolen Legacy. This book, for centuries, the world has been misled about the original source of the arts and sciences. Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. A very good book, one that I highly recommend. Well, folks, I hope that you have enjoyed at least some of what I have put together. Please, when I hear my voice about to go, I know it's about time to leave. But please understand, I'm here 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The Doug Rice Show at 6 and 6. I do have management. I did sign my management documents today. I am now represented. I'll put some of that in the information for future reference. The aim is to do a lot with this medium. I intend to do interviews as time goes on to perfect what we are trying to present, and then provide it to you. And keep having to say this. If you appreciate this effort, if you like what I'm doing, please feel free to go over to our funding and patron pages, and of course our Cash App pages, to show your appreciation and thank you so much for all of your gifts. I do this now full time. Thank you again for the Doug Rice Show. Remember that even though the logo is not in full effect, the Doug Rice Show, DougRice.com, will be built. All of this happens in stages. And for God's sake, folks, keep your head on a swivel. And remember, anything is liable to happen in these coming days. All right, I'm Doug Rice. I got to go. Y'all have a good evening.